Hey, what's up everyone? You're here with Goran from Pickdawgz and you're here for your free picks for Sunday, June 4th. Well guys, we had quite the eventful Saturday and let me just do the quick recap for you. Manchester City won the FA Cup against Manchester United. They won that game 2-1. Leipzig has beaten Eintracht in the DFB Pokal finale 2-0 I believe it was, and both goals came late in the second half. While in the League One games, nothing really changed at the top. We have PSG winning the title and Lens joining them in the Champions League, while Marseille will need to go through the additional qualifications. Lille basically gambled their season away by not being able to beat Troyes on the road. It ended in a 1-1 draw and they were knocked down to the Conference League. And Rennes, all of a sudden, even though their chances were pretty minimal, they have won their game and they have qualified for the Europa League, skipping Lille in the standings. Monaco was left without any of the European competitions. Auxerre, Ajaccio, and I'm not really sure who else got relegated in the last round, but definitely, like I said, it was the eventful day on Saturday. Now we move on to the Sunday, guys, and we are finishing Serie A and we are finishing La Liga. These two are the last of the top five European football leagues that are still going on. So we still have some things to finish off as far as the Conference League, Europa League spot goes, and who's gonna get relegated and who's gonna stay in the league. So should be another exciting day. So make sure you stay tuned to the Pick Dawgz YouTube channel, guys. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button because we do have a lot of free picks and there's a lot more to come. So stay tuned for that. Let's move on to La Liga on Sunday, and the first game we have is between Osasuna and Girona, and this is a game that's gonna get potentially that's gonna get one of these two teams in that Conference League spot if Athletic Bilbao doesn't win their game. So we'll see what's gonna happen with this one. Potentially the draw is enough for Osasuna, and they have been playing in decent form. They are 1 point above Girona right now, who actually hasn't won any of their last four games, and they have been playing a little bit sloppy. But there's a lot at stake in this game, to be honest. And Osasuna has won their last two games at home in a row. Like I said, they have been playing really well, and honestly, if I had to choose a side here, it would be Girona simply because, sorry, it would be Osasuna at home, simply because they have been in a little bit better form. They are a little bit better defensively, and on top of that, Girona is missing a bunch of players without because of the injuries they have. So that will kind of reduce their depth. But like I said, guys, with this much being at stake here, I do expect that we're gonna see a little bit rougher game and maybe both teams focusing a little bit more on the defense, and then hopefully that the result will go their way in the second half. But I decided to take over 5.5 cards in this one, minus 109. If either team ends up being behind at halftime or something like that, it's gonna get really, really messy in the second half, and because of that, I think we're gonna see a ton of fouls and a ton of cards. So I'm gonna go with over 5.5 cards in Osasuna versus Girona. Now Real Madrid is hosting Bilbao, and that is a key game of the season for Athletic Bilbao. Potentially, even if they lose this game, it could be enough for them. Uh, that is, if that game between Osasuna and Girona ends in a draw. But or if Girona wins, better yet, that's gonna be maybe a little bit better. But I think that I mean, Athletic Bilbao doesn't have a choice but to go for the win here. Luckily for them, Real Madrid doesn't really need anything, and the only question for Real Madrid is if they are gonna finish the season in second or third place. But overall, it doesn't really matter. So they have qualified for the Champions League. There have been some rumors that Karim Benzema will leave the club this summer. Modric apparently is extending his contract for another season, and Eden Hazard has is done with Real Madrid, and his contract was terminated by both sides, so he's gonna be out of the club. And like I said, they have nothing left to play for. They have done well this season. They have lost only one home game, and they are now playing in good form. So That will be a problem for Athletic Bilbao, who hasn't scored a single goal in their last two games. But then again, they have to go for the win here if they want to see Europe next year, and it's not gonna be an easy task for them. So uh, I'm gonna stay away from sides, stay away from goals, and because of those rumors that Benzema will be leaving the club at the end of the season, I'm gonna take him to score here. It's minus 108. I think it's been a few games since he scored a goal, so he's definitely due. And if this is his last game, if this is him saying goodbye to Santiago Bernabeu and Real Madrid fans, I'm sure he will want to do everything he can to get to the scoreboard and say a proper goodbye with a goal and potentially with a win of Real Madrid. So I'm taking Benzema to score at minus 108. Villarreal and Atletico Madrid are facing off in LaLiga as well. And this is also another game that doesn't mean anything to anyone. Atletico Madrid will end up the season in third or second place, but same as Real Madrid, it doesn't really matter. While Villarreal will qualify for the Europa League and they will stay in that fifth place. So I'm keeping this one simple, guys. Not a lot is at stake. Both teams are playing pretty solid football right now. They do have a lot of injuries. They do have a lot of suspended players as well, and that could be a chance for some of the younger players who haven't played a lot this season. So maybe we'll see a bit of a mixed lineups here, but I think that both teams to score and over 2.5 goals is the way to go here. Minus 130. The books are kind of expecting it, and I think this is going to be a fairly open matchup and a really good game to watch. So, Villarreal against Atletico Madrid, both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. Real Sociedad is playing against Sevilla, and once again, guys, we have another game that doesn't mean much to either side. By winning the Europa League against Roma earlier this week after a penalty shootout, Sevilla has automatically qualified for the Champions League, which means that they have nothing left to play for, while Real Sociedad has done their job and they have qualified for the Champions League as well. They will end the season in fourth place. They were pretty consistent throughout the entire season. They've done a good job defending with only 34 conceded goals in 37 games. Their offense could definitely be better, but 49 scored goals, even though that's a lot less than all the other top three teams. But definitely a very, very solid team that definitely deserves to qualify for the Champions League. In this game, I'm not sure how much motivation will Sevilla have after winning the Europa League. I definitely think this is going to be pretty much all Real Sociedad at home, but I think that Sevilla will get on the scoreboard here. So I'm going to go with both teams to score, minus 124. I would like for this price to be a little bit close to the even money, but I'll have to take the minus 124 on both teams to score. Celta Vigo is hosting Barcelona, and you know what? Celta Vigo has found themselves in a very, very hard situation, guys. They are only 1 point above the relegation zone, and Real Valladolid, who is below them, is playing against Getafe, who is also in danger of being relegated. And there's a lot of math involved in this last round of La Liga. We have 6 teams within only 2 points at the bottom of the table. So Elche and Espanyol are getting relegated. Valladolid is in the relegation zone with 39 points. Celta Vigo has 40, Almeria has 40, Valencia has 41, and Getafe has 41 points. All of these 6 teams could still end up being relegated or could still save themselves. Now, luckily for Celta Vigo, Barcelona has secured the title. They have conceded only 18 goals this season, and they would definitely like to stay at those 18 goals, because that would mean that they will get even with the record of La Liga of the teams who conceded the least goals in the season. And I don't know. I think that the safest thing for Celta Vigo to do is to go for the win here, because not even the draw might be enough for them. But should be a fun game. Should be a fairly open matchup, because Sevilla definitely has enough quality. They're playing well enough. They're capable of scoring goals, and they definitely have what it takes to get on the scoreboard against Barcelona. Whether or not they can get a win, I don't know. We'll see about that one. We'll see how motivated will Barcelona be in this game. Are they gonna push hard forward? Are they gonna go for the win? Are they gonna put out, I don't know, the second or third lineup? We'll see about that, but I think it's gonna be a fun game to watch, and I think we're gonna see some goals. So I'm gonna go with over 2.5. It's minus 134. I'm a bit hesitant of taking both teams to score because I think it might not happen, but I'm perfectly happy with the over 2.5 and the price we are getting at it. So I'm gonna go with that. Betis is hosting Valencia, guys, and this is gonna be a very important game for Valencia. Like I said, they are only 2 points above the relegation zone, and they could still very well find themselves in the relegation zone if they lose this game. Betis on the other side has secured the Europa League spot. They will stay in that sixth place. They will play in Europe next year, and they definitely are playing well enough right now. They have lost only 2 of their last 5 games, and when playing at home, they haven't lost to Valencia in their last 3 games. Now, the fact is that Valencia needs a positive result out of this game, at least the draw, if not the win. But they have also been pretty inconsistent as of late. They haven't won any of their last 2 games, and it's gonna be hard for them to get a win here. And even if they do, I don't think it's gonna be by keeping a clean sheet here. So instead of choosing a side once again, I'm gonna go with over 2.5 goals, minus 143. I don't think that Betis will just give them the points. They will definitely put up a nice fight to finish the season on a positive note in front of their fans. But then again, like I said, Valencia has to go for it, and they have to try to get a win, and that is the safest way to stay in the league. So I'm gonna go with over 2.5 goals. And then we have the last game in LaLiga to talk about, and that is between Real Valladolid and Getafe. Now, Real Valladolid, like I said, is in the relegation zone. They have 39 points. Not a great offensive team. Only 33 scored goals, 63 conceded goals. That's an average of just shy of 2 conceded goals per game. And if they want to stay in the league, they simply have to win this game. There's no way around it. Not all the results that they need will be favorable to them, which means that only the win will keep them in the league. And if Getafe ends up losing this game, they could very well get relegated. It's gonna be a messy day in La Liga in the last round, and both teams have a bunch of injured players and a bunch of suspended players. Valladolid is missing Monchu and Hongla, who are suspended because of the red cards. Getafe is missing Porto and Gene, who are suspended because of the red card, and those suspensions are coming at the wrong time. And I don't know. At the moment, Getafe might be playing a little bit better. They are on a 2-game winning streak. They haven't lost any of their last 3 games. But Valladolid also hasn't lost any of their last 2 games, and they know what they have to do in this game. And on top of that, Getafe hasn't won any of their last 4 games against Valladolid, and Valladolid hasn't lost any of their last 8 games against Getafe. So 8 home games against Getafe. So I think this is gonna be a very interesting matchup. The pressure is on Valladolid, in my opinion, and they are the ones who have to attack here because the draw is not gonna be enough for them. So I think this pressure might get to them, and the longer it takes them to score a goal, and even if they get ahead, they will need to defend that lead, and that's gonna make them a little bit rough, and that's gonna force them to make some fouls that they usually wouldn't. So I'm gonna take Valladolid over 3.5 cards. It's plus 102, nice plus money, guys. I think this might be another rough game, and should be a very fun and interesting day in La Liga. So Valladolid against Getafe, Valladolid over 3.5 cards. That's that for La Liga, guys. Now we have 4 games in Serie A to talk about, and we are gonna start it off with this Atalanta versus Monza matchup. Now Monza is safe from the relegation. They will not be getting relegated. They are staying in the league. While Atalanta on the other side is still not safe for that Europa League spot, and they definitely need a win here to stay in that Europa League spot. The Champions League is out of their reach, but they could still lose that Europa League spot, and they could still end up playing the Conference League, which is not as prestigious competition as the Europa League is, and it doesn't bring as much money into the cash register as the Europa League does. So I think that Atalanta will do everything they can to get a win here, and even though they have been all over the place as of late, and Monza has actually been playing really well, Atalanta has always beaten Monza at home, and Monza actually has been doing a good job on the road. They haven't lost any of their last 6 games on the road, but I think this is gonna be the game where Atalanta will step up their game and get a nice win in front of their fans. So I'm gonna go with Atalanta to win and over 2.5 goals. It's plus 106. I think that if you want even deeper plus money, I would take Atalanta to win and both teams to score because Monza has been outstanding as of late and they might as well get on the scoreboard here. But for me personally, I'm taking Atalanta to win and over 2.5 goals. Milan is hosting Verona in the last game of Serie A, and that's a game that doesn't mean anything to Milan because they have secured the Champions League spot for next season, and they will most likely end the season. Well, not most likely, they will end the season in fourth place. They got the job done. It was a bit intense for them, but they will qualify for the Champions League. As far as Verona goes, they are now above the relegation zone. They are in 17th place, but they have the same amount of points as Spezia does, and the goal difference is only 4 goals between Verona and Spezia. And if I had to choose between these two teams who's gonna stay in the league, I would go with Verona because Spezia has been horrible on the road this season, and I know that Verona hasn't been the greatest team on the road, and they have a hard opponent here, but they have been playing some decent football as of late. They have been scoring some goals, and with that much being at stake, I think that they definitely could step up their game long enough to get a positive result out of this game. So I think this is going to be an interesting match. And with the fact that Milan doesn't need anything, I think we could see a bit of a mixed lineup from them. But I do expect goals in this one. Both teams to score in over 2.5 goals, plus 130. I think it's going to be an interesting game, and I think we see some goals. Whether that's going to be enough or not for Verona, we'll see after, but I definitely think that they will get to the scoreboard. So Milan against Verona, both teams to score, and over 2.5 goals. Roma is hosting Spezia, and this is a game where both teams need a win. Now, Roma lost in the Europa League finals against Sevilla earlier this week after a penalty shootout. It was a huge disappointment for them. Mourinho, of course, blamed the referees, even though the ref was pretty solid in my opinion. He did a good job in a very bad game. And now, if they want to qualify for the Europa League, they need a win here to stay ahead of Juventus. Spezia, like I said, is in the relegation zone. They have the same amount of points as Verona does. Fortunately for Spezia, the draw might be enough for them to stay in the league. The thing is, I think that Roma will try to bounce back, and I think they will try to finish the season with a win. They owe it to their fans, and they are the better team here, especially at home, where they have been pretty much solid for the entire season so far. And Spezia on the road has won only 2 games. They have 5 draws and 11 losses. One problem for Roma is that they haven't won any of their last 5 games. But Spezia hasn't won any of their last 3 games against Roma, and at this price that we are getting, I simply have to take Roma on the money line. It's minus 110. I think they will try to step up. I think they will try to bounce back and give their fans a little bit of satisfaction after losing in the Europa League finals. So I'm taking Roma on the money line. And the last game in Serie A that we have to talk about is between Udinese and Juventus. Now, Udinese at the moment is in the Conference League spot, and the least they will play next year will be the Conference League. Now, I have a bit of a problem here, and it might seem a little bit weird, but when Juventus was given the 10-point deduction punishment a couple of weeks ago or so, they actually wanted the court and the Serie A to take another 3 points, the additional 3 points. Now, in my mind, I already started doing the math, and those 3 points deducted would potentially leave them out of the Europe for next season. And then I started thinking, what if that's what they want? What if they want to do a rebuild season? What if they want to focus on only one competition, compete for the Serie A title and potentially Coppa Italia, and simply start from scratch? So that's what made me a little bit sketchy about this game because Udinese doesn't need anything. They will stay in the league. They will finish in that 12th or 13th place or whatever. Uh, and then again, we'll see how Juventus will react because they are on a 3-game losing streak right now. They will sell some players. They will bring in some new players in the summer. But I honestly have a feeling that they don't really want to play in Europe next year. So the fact that they ended up playing in the Conference League might actually push them to compete for the Europa League and to try to get into that competition to bring a little bit more money into the club. And for that reason, I'm gonna go with over 2.5 goals. I think that Udinese at home has been solid this season. It's where they won most of their points, where they scored most of their goals, and I think they will get to the scoreboard here as well, simply because Juventus is in such sloppy form. But then again, I also think that Juventus will try to push for the win here and try to get to that Europa League spot if they are lucky enough for Roma to drop some points. So I'm gonna go with over 2.5 at minus 121. That seems like the safest bet for this game, and I'm gonna take it. That's it, everyone. Thank you for joining me here for your free picks for Sunday. It was a little bit longer video for the amount of picks that we have. It shouldn't have been that long, but it is the last game of the season. Last round of the season is Serie and LaLiga. But not to worry, guys. We still have the Champions League and we still have the Conference League finals. And of course, after that, this season is over, I will be shifting towards the MLS and those Scandinavian leagues in Europe, such as Norwegian Eliteserien, Swedish Allsvenskan, and we're gonna have some picks from the Icelandic Urvalsdeilin as well. So should be a fun summer for us, and definitely there will be a lot of free picks to come. So make sure you subscribe to the Pickdawgz YouTube channel, hit that like button, guys, and good luck with your bets on Sunday. And I'll see you soon with more free picks.